Hidden beneath the peaceful woodland of North Cornwall lies a remarkable piece of industrial history. The Hayle Explosives Works, once one of Britain's most important manufacturers of dynamite, now stands as a haunting reminder of Cornwall's industrial past. In 1888, when mining and quarrying were at their height in Cornwall, the National Explosives Company established this factory on the Towans, the local name for sand dunes, north of Hayle. The location was chosen carefully, isolated enough to be safe, yet close to transportation links and the mining districts that would become its primary customers. Spread across 300 acres of sandy terrain, the works was designed with safety in mind. Individual buildings were separated by high earth banks and sand dunes, ensuring that if one building exploded, the blast wouldn't trigger a chain reaction. Today, these protective banks still stand, creating a distinctive landscape of humps and hollows. A network of narrow gauge railways connected over 100 buildings, each serving a specific purpose in the dangerous production of explosives. The factory produced various explosives, but primarily dynamite. The process began at the acid works, where sulfuric acid and nitric acids were manufactured. These were combined with glycerine to create nitroglycerin, an incredibly volatile explosive. The nitroglycerin was then mixed with kieselguhr, a stabilising agent, to create dynamite. Kieselguhr is a porous silica that was used by Alfred Nobel to create dynamite. Nobel discovered that mixing nitroglycerin with kieselguhr made a paste that was easier to handle and safer to transport than liquid nitroglycerin. Alfred Nobel was a shy man, and his guilt about inventing something only ever meant to destroy pushed him to establish the Nobel Prize in his will in 1895 to be presented in recognition of scientific and cultural advances. Working here was dangerous but well paid. Workers, predominantly local men and women, would process these materials through various stages: nitration houses, where glycerin was converted to nitroglycerin; mixing houses, where the explosive compounds were combined; and packing houses, where the final products were carefully prepared for transport. Workers wore special rubber-soled shoes to prevent sparks, and women were preferred for certain roles as they were considered more careful and dexterous. No metal objects were allowed on site, even buttons had to be made of bone or wood. Despite these precautions, several fatal accidents occurred. The most devastating was in 1904, when 5 workers lost their lives in a single explosion. During World War I, the works reached its peak, employing over 1,800 people, producing up to 80 tons of explosives per week for both mining and military purposes. The site was heavily guarded, with armed patrols protecting against potential sabotage. Here's one of the buildings, which would have been along this main course, which was probably had a railway line come straight to it. And you notice that they built them in a depression, so they would have dunes all the way around the outside, and a loose roof, so that if there was an explosion, hopefully it would just blow the roof off. But if the walls went as well, they would be cushioned by the dunes and not hopefully injure anyone else. Also, the ground floor looks as though it would have been a little bit below the rest of the ground level. So here's another dynamite storage building. This would have been one of the railway lines straight back to the main works from the storage rooms, and we can even see somewhere in bits of the pathway, you can see there are still some rails left.
where it's been walked on.
But this isn't just a story about explosives, it's about the community that grew around the works. Many workers walked miles each day from surrounding villages. Women played a crucial role, particularly during wartime, taking on increasingly responsible positions despite the dangers. After the war, demand dropped significantly. Though the site saw renewed activity during World War II, it never regained its former significance. The works finally closed in 1919. Some work carried on throughout the 1920s, but much of it involved the site's winding up when most of the machinery was sold for scrap. Some parts of the site remained in use for storage until the 1960s. After that, nature began to reclaim the site. Today the site is both a scheduled ancient monument and a nature reserve. The concrete ruins, slowly being embraced by vegetation, provide a habitat for rare plants and animals. The old tramways that once transported explosives now serve as walking paths. The site represents one of the best preserved early dynamite works in Europe. Its layout and remaining structures provide valuable insights into late Victorian industrial practices and safety measures. Local heritage groups and Cornwall Council work to preserve what remains, ensuring this important chapter of Cornwall's industrial history isn't forgotten. The Hayle Explosives Works stands as a testament to Cornwall's industrial ingenuity and the people who worked here. While its products were designed for destruction, today it creates something entirely different, a unique sanctuary where history and nature intertwine.
Hope you enjoyed this short video. If you did, please click the like and subscribe. And if you've got anything to add or want to ask any questions, please pop them below. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye bye.